Thank you so much for tuning into this video. So this video is going to be a little bit different because it's not going to be any entertainment. So if you're watching this for any entertainment purposes, please don't. This is going to be a serious talk video that's going to go on for a little bit, talking about my experience with AT&T as a follow-up. Now, really quickly, just so you guys know, I actually did quit/get fired from AT&T in October of 2020, and the reason I did not make a video up until now was because I was actually waiting for a exit interview with AT&T to see what I can actually talk about. But since I did not get to that, and they have not called me, not talked to me since, I decided to go ahead and make this video. Now, that being said, everything in this video is my own opinion. It's for entertainment purposes only. Please do not take this as any kind of advice, whatever, blah, blah, blah. AT&T, basically, please don't sue me. That being said, though, let's actually get into the video. There's one thing I did want to mention about this video. Obviously, there's going to be some bias here, and that's why I straight up told you guys I quit/got fired, and I'll explain the whole situation from AT&T. So if you guys are concerned about that, I'm being 100% transparency, there might be some bias. That being said, I'm going to try and make this video as unbiased as possible. I'm a pretty fair person. I don't hate AT&T, so I want to be as fair as possible. Now, that being said, let's actually get into the video. So the first part, this is going to be a longer video, so I do apologize, but the first part is going to be the overview of the program. So for anyone that's considering joining the program or waiting to get into the program, whenever your starting month is, this is the part for you guys. So tune in, listen up. I'm going to be as vague as possible. I'm not going to try to get too specific just because I'm not sure what I can actually talk about, but I will explain most of the program and what to expect. So as you may have heard, this is something that was a little bit of an issue with AT&T. This is a business-to-business sales training program. That means you will be cold calling. Some people did not know that during our time here with the class. So please understand, you will be cold calling a lot. That being said, each month is different. So month one, when you start, you will basically spend the first 2 weeks going through trainings from 8 to 5, whenever Central Time, whenever your time is. You will be going through trainings for the first 2 weeks. Then moving on, you will actually go ahead and start cold calling around the end of week 2, moving into week 3, depending on how it all works out, time-wise and day-wise. So they did change it up a little bit, but you will be calling through a program. I believe you don't actually get a cell phone anymore. I'm not too sure. That's where, I'm trying to keep as vague as possible, but it doesn't matter. You will be making cold calls. They will get you a list of people you will be cold calling. Usually everyone gets about 70 to 100. So you'll go through, you'll cold call all those people. Trust me, you'll have enough time to go through them. They are not the best leads, but you are able to get some deals depending on if you get lucky with those leads. But it's something to get you sort of warmed up on and prepared for the actual cold calling to come once you're actually prospecting yourself and finding leads for yourself. So I would say the first month is about 80 to 90% of classroom, and the last 10 to 20% is the actual physical cold calling and doing the real job. Now, don't be afraid. I know they sort of push you into the cold calling aspect of things right away. It's pretty soon, but they do take their time to sort of help you train and just do it. The more you do the cold calling, the better you get. That being said, that's sort of month one. You will have a commission structure and you will have a quota for month one. Now, don't worry too much about this. If you hit it, it's great. You get some extra money. If you don't hit it, nothing's really going to happen. No one expects you to make any sales in month one, especially with the time they give you, because you usually have like Friday afternoons to make cold calls or just random times in the day after your trainings that are really hard to really make a sale, because you'll find out shortly that Friday afternoon is probably the worst time to call, as most of the decision makers are actually out of the office going towards the weekend. And so people don't really want to talk to you, or they'll brush you off. That being said, moving on to month two, that's when things get a little bit more interesting, that you're cold calling about 40% of the time, 60% about trainings, something around there. You're going to have a lot more time to cold call. And this is where month 2 actually matters in terms of your quota and graduation, which I will get to shortly. I'm really taking my time here. Feel free to skip forward to whatever parts of the video you want to see. I'm trying to be as detailed as possible. So again, apology for the long video. I want you guys to intentionally skip forward to parts that you want to listen to as I go through this. So month 2, like I said, 60%-ish training, 40% calling. You're going to be doing a lot more calling. This is where you get to know your sales manager, your team, everyone else, because you're going to be working with them on your cold calls and calling, and less on the training. And like I said, this month really matters in terms of your quota. Now the quota, I can't tell you what it's going to be because they kept changing it even during the program. But it's a little bit bigger jump than month 1, but you have more time to work on it. That being said, make sure you guys are cold calling as much as possible whenever you have free time, building leads and opportunities, which I'll explain more in the program. But basically, it's building a list of people that are actually interested in talking more and having more meetings to actually sell to. Because if you're able to get that in the beginning of the program, you will do a lot better than if you're super behind. It's month 3 and you really don't have any big opportunities in the pipeline, which was one of my issues and why I was not able to sort of get myself out of that hole. But I saw a lot of successful people in the program that did have a lot of pipeline activity, stuff like that. They were able to get a lot more sales and stay in the program. Before we finish off month 2, I did want to mention one thing. Even though you will be doing cold calling, at the same time, you may be taking inbound calls, which just means that people are calling you. And on those days, you answer the phone. They usually have a renewal, which you'll find out in the program. They're renewing an older POTS line, and you have an opportunity to upsell them and make a sale. So that may change depending on when you're actually in the program, COVID and everything else. But that is month 2, and month 3 is inbound days, but that's nothing to be confirmed about, so I would not expect it until I'm there. But that's something you might be potentially expecting as well to think about, where you'll have maybe 2 days of inbound calls, then 1 day of outbound cold calling, and then another 2 days of inbound. It might change. It changed for us. I can't really get you guys that much information, but months 2 and 3 do have that as well. That being said, moving on to month 3. So month 3 is where it gets a little bit interesting, because that's where you start basically having 90% time of cold calling and 10% of the time is training. Now this varies a little bit. Training is usually in the beginning of the month. The first 2 or so weeks, you have a lot of refresher courses. It's not a lot of new things to learn, but it's just a lot of just here's some refresher, here's some extra help, things like that, some small minor details. Your quota is a lot higher. It varies, but this is the month you gotta sort of deep down dive and go for it. Now moving on to month 4, this is actually the month that I quit. So the start of October 1st, it was actually my last day, which was the start of month 4 for me. So I'm not going to go into too many details about how it goes from there, but you can expect by month 4 that you might be able to get placed into your position / role when you guys graduate from the program. This was a shocker to us at first, because a lot of people talk about, it takes 4 to 6 months for the training program to go through, and no one was really too clear on how that works. So basically, if you're doing really well, your sales manager can and will get you promoted and into the graduating class, so that you actually receive an offer to do an interview and get the position that you're looking at in the city and state that you want to, depending on the job. And month 4 is sort of that transition period where you still got a place. You're not taking inbound calls, you're doing outbound, but you're also getting ready to transition if you get accepted. If you don't, then you'll spend months 4 and 5, maybe even 6, really depends on person to person. But if you didn't do as well, in, let's say, months 2 and 3, but you're doing pretty well where you have a chance of actually reaching an overall percentage of your quota completion, they will put you back on month 3 to redo that as your month 4. And then if you improve, the next month you will actually go ahead and be allowed to place into your position, or at least argue that you're ready to go in there. A little confusing, I know. If you guys need more explanation, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you guys want to actually directly email me, davidmechuravlogs@gmail.com. Send me an email if you guys want to chat, FaceTime, phone call, whatever. If you want more information, feel free to reach out there as well. I'll definitely get you more info on how that all works, but basically know that the way you get placed and the way you actually graduate from the program is having a overall commission quota completion for the whole year at about 70-ish%. It really varies. They were not too specific. They really didn't explain how it fully works, but you want to be reaching a good portion of your quota every single month to really get that number high. If it's super low, that's where you get placed on a PEP, or a performance enhancing program. I believe that's the name. I actually don't remember. But they put you in a program where they force you, they watch you a little bit more. And if you're not doing well the next month, they may terminate you, or they might extend it if they see improvement. That's where I was. That was my situation. That's how I sort of was forced to either quit or just wait until I got fired, because I wasn't doing well enough. And again, 100% transparency with you guys. I'm trying to explain what happened to me, so that way you guys know, hey, okay, this happened. This is why David got fired. Maybe I shouldn't, there's some things I should listen to, some things that obviously might be a little biased. Again, going back to the transparency thing of this video. So that being said, that was sort of the way the program went, basically as far as I got. If you guys have more questions, again, feel free to email me, get in contact, reach out on social media, whatever. I can explain more of the program. But let's actually talk about the actual thoughts of the program. So the first part's over. Let's actually move on to the second part, which is what I thought about the AT&T B2B sales program, and is it worth it to go in there. So again, I'm not going to make any sort of wild accusations. I'm not going to tell you to go for it, or tell you to not even look into AT&T, because you are different. You can make your own choices, see if it's really worth it for most people. So I'm just going to give my sort of overall opinions and things that as a whole a lot of people had complaints about and a lot of people liked. So sort of going forward, the program is very vague as to how it works. That's why I try explaining it as much as possible, and that's why this video, again, is super, super long, because I'm trying my best to really go into detail. So I do apologize. This might end up being like a 20 to 30 minute video. So be it. Now, what I recommend it, yes and no. The program, if you are someone that really likes cold calling, that really doesn't mind the rejections, definitely give it a try. It's a pretty good program for that. But I will say, expect a lot of things to be kept from you until about month 2 or 3. That was the biggest issue I had, was that no one really explained commission, the quota, how we graduate, how the program's structured, what it means to where you're poorly performing, where you can actually get potentially fired. None of that was really explained to me, and that was a little bit of a downer. I tried explaining a little bit in part 1, but again, if you guys want more details, shoot me a text or a message, whatever, DM. That being said, I would take a look at different programs, see how they all are. AT&T is a big company, and they will treat you as a number. If you can perform well for them, you will have a very, very good time, and you will make a very, very big amount of money. If you are unable to perform for them, expect them to kick you out. They will not really try to keep you in. They will basically just be like, yeah, he's not doing good, get him out. They will claim to help you, but at the same time, it is sort of about luck, and they will make, even the PEP, the performance program, is not the best in trying to get you out of the situation. So I would say advice: be wary, have a backup plan if you want to go into AT&T, because there's a lot of people that left that have found other companies and are satisfied with it, that left and just didn't want to do it. And again, understand that this is a sales, business to business cold calling job, and that's something apparently a lot of recruiters weren't talking about when they were recruiting our class. And so about half the class didn't even know that we're going to be cold calling. And so I'm trying to be as 100% transparent, let you guys know how the program is. If it sounds good, if the first part sounded amazing, go for it. If you still have questions, again, feel free to reach out, or I'll talk about a little bit here. But overall, the program seemed very rushed to me. So moving on sort of to my own opinions of the program. This is sort of going to be part 3. I'm just going to talk about my opinions and what a lot of people thought, both the negatives and the positives. So I'm going to start with the negatives just because there's a couple of them that I really want to talk about. And then I'll end off with some positivity to sort of bring it in a whole big circle here. So negative things. First off, the program felt very, very rushed. It felt like they were just cramming training every single day. For a technology company, the technology you use, the software you use, you have 50 billion programs you got to understand and learn how to use. It just felt completely useless, and something that a technology company should do a lot better on. In terms of just the rep, a lot of people, when you call in to businesses, they will literally, you'll be the maybe 20th AT&T caller, or at least AT&T sponsored third party caller, because they call as well as a lot of people third parties that actually use AT&T's name. They'll be calling every single day, so you'll get a lot of pissed customers that already know what AT&T does. They don't want to hear anything else. I felt a lot of the luck that people were getting was not following the structure that AT&T provided, which was very lackluster, to be fully honest with you. And so they were just doing their own thing and just getting sort of lucky or finding customers and sort of just selling things that were a little bit shady, on the shadier side of things, in terms of how they pitched the product. So that was my bigger issues with how I sort of don't like selling in those kind of situations. The program itself, like I said, it's rushed. They don't explain anything. They tell you the products, about the products, which is really cool. You learn a lot of information, but they sort of don't hold your hand very well. The first day we were setting up our computers, everything was getting set up. It was a big hassle, and I understand it's work from home. Something new for them, or newer. But at the same time, the whole program felt rushed. Once they teach you the programs, the products, yes, you still have help. You have your sales manager, but at the same time, everything else around your 401k, getting your insurance, getting your paycheck and your direct deposit, like getting all those basic things set up and explained, was rushed, like fully rushed. So if you don't understand what a 401k is, or the different 401ks, pre-tax, post-tax. So yeah, if you guys don't know, like the different 401ks and different health insurances and all that different kind of stuff, that's something you got to figure out on your own time. There's a lot of things they throw at you. You got to figure out on your own. Set up your phone, your laptop, iPad. Like there's a lot of things that was a big hassle. Again, work from home, not the biggest complaint, but something that really sort of got under my skin a little bit was the lack of sort of help. And the people that were there help didn't really understand what the hell they were doing. So that was a little depressing and a little sad. Moving on, one of the things that a lot of people sort of had a problem with was the lack of information that was given to us in the beginning. there was a lot of things not explained to us, and it was a lot of information that only a couple people knew, from depending on their sales manager and the district manager, all that stuff. A lot of people did not know a lot of things. Like, the information that people were getting was totally just one-sided or two-sided. Like, it was not an equal amount of information given to everyone to get everyone an equal chance at succeeding. It was really just your manager, based off of what your manager told you, is how well you could do and how well extra you can do based off of their techniques. Whilst and managers were not sharing, like, teams would not share information with other people. They would be secretive, and it wasn't good for a sales training program. Now, if this was the actual sales job, I get it. Sales managers want to compete with each other, everything like that. But even trainers, everything, like, I loved all the trainers. They're amazing. But the information was totally different depending on the trainer that you got. And it was a little sad to see that, because you're getting all this information. You want to have as much equality in that information. So then you're not better than someone just because you got better information or you know a little bit more about the program. There's some people that, again, did not know about cold calling as the requirement for the job. Some people thought there was no cold calling whatsoever. That's what they were told. Some people didn't know how the commission structure worked. Some people didn't know how the quota worked. Some people didn't know how the graduation worked. There was a lot of things that a good majority of people did not know, and only a few people knew. And the information would just, people would find out. It would spread because we had a group chat, and people all of a sudden would, like, figure something out in month 3. We would know things that we should have known in month 1. So that's something I really disliked and wished AT&T did a little bit better job of controlling, is that information and letting us know how this better structuring the program where we have a better chance of succeeding. It felt really like a job and a position where you throw in 100, 150 candidates, whatever it was. I think our class was like 50, 80 people. I don't remember. Throw them all in there into a blender, spit out the people that aren't performing well. Don't really try, like, just kick them out. Don't even try to, improve and work on them, since they've been there a pretty good amount of time. You might be able to turn them around, but instead they have such a huge turnaround number because people are getting kicked left and right, and only the good ones are being pushed forward. And even at that point, like, there were a lot of people that were doing okay, not trying to bash on anyone, but they would be basically positioned forward to move and get that graduation instead of trained a little bit longer and then graduating. So it just felt like it was a lot of things, and you were a number in the program, and there's so many different issues that I could talk about, but it felt like no one really cared to change it, and no one really wanted to change it. The only thing that kept changing was our commission, our quotas, the different things AT&T decided to do. Again, this is something, you guys are going to a big company like AT&T, which is in the Fortune 10 companies. Obviously, they're going to look at employees a little bit differently. They're going to look at you differently. They're going to look at you more as a number. They're going to have a lot of different policies, things like that. But don't expect anyone to really hold your hand. This is something you have to do. And if you want to succeed, you really have to put in more than 40 hours. Unless you're very, very lucky, you will have to work more than 40 hours and put in a ton of work, calling, sending emails, doing all that. And I felt like one last thing, and then I'll move on to the positives. I know I'm sort of rambling here, but one thing I didn't like as well is, as we came in as our month, we had 3 people in my group. It was me and 2 other girls. I'm not gonna tell their names. If you're watching, how's it going? I'm not exposed to anyone here, but we came in. We did not have much help from our sales manager from the month before, stuff like that. And what I found unfair was when when we were in month 2, we got month 1 and we brought her into our group. We taught her things that were working for us. We taught her how to help. And then as the month, we moved on to month 3. She moved on to month 2. It was a month 1 girl that came in. Again, she was getting all the extra information, and she was doing so much better in month 1 than we could have ever gotten, because she got all the extra information that we didn't figure out until basically it was like month 2.5 to a month 3. So again, that goes back to this information idea where people were just getting different ideas, different information, different lists, different strategies, and it felt like we were so behind. And there's, and it was like, oh, just ask the people that are doing well. Well, I did ask the people that were doing well, and they were doing exact same strategies as I was, but they were getting people that were actually interested in talking to them. I got people that bitched me out for just calling. So again, it's a numbers game. Think of it that way. You have to get high volume, be able to just take no's all day to get that 1 or 2 yeses to complete your quota, all that good stuff. So that's something, again, it felt really shady. It felt brutal. I did not enjoy it as a company that, as a huge company that marketed this as a training program to sort of kick someone out in month 3 for not doing so well was also a lot of just, it wasn't nice. That being said, some people did go on to month 4, didn't make it to month 4. So about month 3 and 4 is when, if you're not doing too well, expect to potentially get fired, or get fired / have the choice of quitting before you get fired. So you're able to go back to AT&T. If you get fired, you're not able to go work for any of their partner companies or AT&T, whatever, policy works. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, moving on to some positive things that I had about the program. There's a lot of benefits. AT&T obviously is a huge company. There's a ton of benefits in terms of just if you want a cell phone, TV service with them, everything, you get nice benefits. They're actually pretty cool. Especially their AT&T TV, that deal is just insane. Recommend you picking up if you want to. Even internet deals are pretty good. So yeah, they take care of their employees. If you're doing well, they'll take care of you. You'll make a ton of money, and that's what I liked about AT&T is that, yeah, if you're doing well, expect to get paid well. Have a ton of great benefits. Their health insurance is amazing. Their 401k is amazing. Their match, I think they match about 6%. There's a lot of things that they do that are just insane and have really great benefits on top of the exceptional salary plus commission structure that they have. So you can make a ton of money and have a very, very good life working with AT&T. But again, it's a numbers game. You just have to be willing to go in there and be ferocious and really fight for what you want. That being said, the training program wasn't bad. I mean, it had faults, but if you get the information early, you can do really well. So again, make sure you're getting that information. Make sure you're talking to your sales manager. Become friendly with your trainers, everyone, because it will help a lot. That being said, guys, that was the video, the follow-up to AT&T. I do apologize. This is probably like a 30-minute video at this point. Look, it's up to you. I will say during this COVID situation, if you're graduating, if you can't find a job, this is a great place to go to secure something at least. But look for different options. Look for different places. A smaller company will treat you a lot better than a bigger company. That's just not AT&T's fault. That's just any big company. They will treat you better if you're part of a smaller company than if you're in a big company. If you guys still want more information, like I said, leave a comment down below. Email me at davidmachuravlogs@gmail.com or reach out to my social media links. If you guys actually go down in the description, I have different links to my different social medias. So if you just want to reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever, DM me. Go for it. I will get you guys more information. If you guys want to set up a call, talk more about my experience with AT&T, If you want more information, any more questions, again, feel free to reach out anytime. I will try to get back to you as fast as possible, because I know how important it is to just learn more information and just feel confident going into a great job. So that being said, though, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends and family, or anyone that is looking into AT&T. AT&T, please don't sue me. If there's any part that you want me to take away, please let me know. I'll be happy to do that. Again, this was for entertainment purposes only. These were my opinions. Take them as they are, and make up your own mind. But again, if you guys want more information, any more questions, if you guys want to see if it's really worth it for you guys, feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.